Story for you guys about a perhaps not so young couple, married for over 45 years, Miriam and Yosef, who you might say were a match made in heaven. Everything was great. They had shared values, shared principles. They weren't wealthy in a material way. They actually lived very simply, small two-bedroom apartment that they rented, but they both shared simchas hachayim, a love of life, a happiness of life. And they were careful with their spending because they had limited resources. And one day, when Miriam was standing on a stool, reaching above the refrigerator, she slipped and fell. And her husband took her to the hospital, and the doctors examined her, and they said she had injured a major part of her body and would need a long recuperation period. And it would be very helpful if she had a recliner that she could use daily. So when they got back home, they started to investigate, and they found it would be about $350 to buy a recliner. And they were analyzing their finances and checking and double checking, and they figured out, you know what, we could just make it work. There's $350 that we don't need to live on, that we could spend in the recliner. And she was so excited. She took out catalogs and looked at different models, different colors, different styles. She showed her husband the one that she wants. He was excited for her, and she planned to order it the next morning. Later that evening, a neighbor came down to visit Miriam, and they were talking. This neighbor was really struggling financially, living on just barely surviving on her Social Security. And she mentioned she needs a surgery that's going to, after Medicare and Medicaid, was still going to cost $350. Without hesitating, without even a thought, Miriam says, you know what? We have $350 that we do not need for our daily living. Please take it. She handed her the $350. The neighbor protested. No, you keep it. I don't want it. She says, no, I insist. And she made her take it. Later that evening, she told her husband what had happened, that she gave away the money. And he said, okay, you know what? God provides, and things will work out. A week later, it was Miriam's birthday. And usually her husband would come home with a bouquet. And this time he came home empty-handed. And after dinner, he told her to close her eyes as he walked her to the living room, and then said, happy birthday, dear. And she opened her eyes and saw the exact rocking chair that she had picked out. And she said, but what about the money, the $350? He says, don't worry, God provides. Later that week, Yosef's office held their monthly raffle for all the employees. And that week, Yosef was the winner of exactly $350. Bitachon, trust in our Father in heaven, is one of the greatest gifts and strategies for life. Whether we trust in him or not, he's always there for us. But if we watch and we believe and we listen and we trust, then sometimes we get to see the miracles happening right before our eyes. I want to give us all a blessing that we should find the strength to always trust in our Creator and in our loved ones. And number two, that we should be able to not just trust, but to actually see for ourselves how everything in life really works out for the best. Thank you all so much.